Hello everybody, welcome back to Switch with another Diablo video, and today it's going to be Diablo 4 open beta for those who buy the pre-order version. Obviously the open beta for everybody else is going to be next weekend. So for this beta we are able to play the Barbarian, the Sorceress and the Rogue. And for the next week we are able to play Druid and the Necromancer, but unfortunately for me, because I don't really have much time to play or to spare on this weekend, so I just decide and made the Sorceress. And before I will jump into the skills and the items I'm using, it's quite fun build. I'm just gonna say a few words about what I like the most in the game, and what there are two things like super important to know when you jump to the beta. So obviously for those who playing already, you're just playing already, so you don't need to listen to that, but the guidance is just for the people who didn't play yet and just want to try the next week. So first thing is just to don't copy or listen to anybody like some build is great or you should start Sorceress or whatever. Just don't, just pick up your build, like pick up your own character, just what you really think you want to play, just play it. So despite the fact I will show you the build here, just don't copy and just don't do it unless you super like it, but that's not the idea on this video. I'm just putting this because I just want to see for the future reference, like just for myself. So that's the idea for the YouTube for me. I'm just happy about something and I record that, and I don't really give a fuck somebody is going to copy or watch or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm really happy about the game, so that's why I want to share a little bit about the game as well. So the first thing, just don't copy, just enjoy your game, because the game is designed the way like you just do whatever you like and you will have a great time and great character. And the second thing is actually kind of important. So when you're going to press the button to open your map, so the map obviously is going to pop out, and then on the upper part of the map we can see the stuff which we unlocked, so renown points, and this is like super important part. When you are going to press the button for the PC users, is going to be W, view rewards, excuse me. So you will see how much point of renown point you need to climb rewards basically. And obviously those rewards are super huge impact for playing the game, because as you can see, we can get 10,000 gold and 25,000 gold, and then +1 potion charge and +1 to skill, which is great. But what I'm trying to say, the fastest way to achieve this is just to basically do everything from the beginning of the game, everything what you possibly can do, which is the side quests. So don't skip the side quests, there is no point to. And try to do as much and as many side dungeons as possibly you can, even despite the fact they might not be too classified to your character. And what I mean by that, you will see the dungeons, so you can just go and see. So this dungeon is for the Barbarian only. So basically, well, one more time, this dungeon is for every class, but the reward is just for the Barbarian only. So after you're going to finish this, you will have the reward, which is going to be, yes, one more time, just only for the Barbarian. But despite the fact it's just only for the Barbarian, you wanna play as many dungeons as possibly you can, just simply to, one more time, to have 30 renown points when you finish one of each of them. So you will get super fast to the higher levels of unlocking more rewards. So yeah, and as you can see, even 4 Paragon points later on. So that's the second tip for everybody who are going to play open beta, and I think this is like the most important part, because usually, at least I'm just talking from my perspective, I like to like super fast rushing to the end game or whatever the level it is. On the open beta is 25, but in this game there is no point, so you're actually better off to check in everything. One more thing, what I want to mention, because for the majority of people, or for the half of the people. I don't know what's the percentage. What I'm trying to say, for those people who don't have Diablo 4 yet and they're going to play on the next weekend, you don't really have much time, to be honest, unless you have whole weekend for playing the game. So that's great. But in some people case, like somebody might work in Saturday and you will have just a couple of hours, so just choose one character and don't try to waste your time to, for example, go and try to check all the altar of Lilith, for example. Although you can Google that and you will see the map where you can find all of them. Yes, that's right. But still, I think it's going to be like a waste of time, because at the end of the day, you will have just one weekend to spare, and then those characters are going to be removed, deleted. So you won't be able to use them, obviously, in the future. Unless they're going to do another open beta event, and they might, but I don't know about that. So what I'm trying to say, just don't try to try hard the game, and just enjoy, and just do as much crazy stuff as possibly you can do with the skill tree. So before I jump to the skill tree and the items, I almost finished, guys, no worries. No, it won't be long. So I'm super excited, super crazy, because map it looks like the Assassin's Creed Valhalla or the Skyrim, or actually my background back in the days I used to like to play the Gothic one game, the whole genre of the Gothic games. And for me, this is the game which I've been waiting for. I'm like super fan of any action RPGs. So obviously, I used to play everything. You can name it. I might even don't remember the games I used to play. That's how old I am. So what I'm trying to say, I like the finally Blizzard put the whole ideas from the every game possible together. So obviously, we will see here the stuff from the Undecember. Yes, obviously. From the Lost Ark. Yes, obviously. From the Path of Exile, especially when we're going to reach the level 100, because the Paragon level system is the same system as a skill system in Path of Exile. But it's nothing wrong with that. It's much better. I'm much more happy and excited about the actually finally realize just to copy paste all the stuff, and hopefully eventually a year or 2 years from now, with the another expansions, they will add some new Blizzard stuff, if you know what I mean. Like there's going to be something new and fresh, but there wasn't a point to do something like new. And what I'm trying to say right now, to compare to Diablo 3, because when Diablo 3 came out, everybody thought it's going to be like a new Diablo 2. Yeah, everybody played, and majority of people just don't play anymore. And at the end of the day, it's a great game just to killing the mobs for a while, but it's like super fast to, you know, create a character, and super boring after all. So you can just spend like a couple of hours these days, or either you don't want to play anymore. So finally they came up with like a huge, massive map, which is crazy amazing. Like I'm just super excited about this already. So that's one more time, super crazy good idea. One thing which I don't like it is because there's going to be a season, so I just wonder how the hell we are going to be able to discover all the world, because I don't even know this is the whole map. Might be, but anyway. So I just wonder how we are going to be able to discover the whole map, the whole acts or whatever by the time to finish off the season. But hopefully with the stable and the horse we are able to get through the whole continent. Maybe it's not an issue, but the thing is, like, when you're going to start the new season, you need to discover this one more time all over again. And for the year that won't be the issue as well, or maybe even a couple of years, because you wanna obviously play every character. At least that's what I think. I'm just going to play first season one character, second season another character, and so on. But maybe it's just not worth to worry about this. We'll see how it goes in the future. But nevertheless, so far I'm concerned, like, the game in the current moment, and then when it's going to come out, it's just great. It's just amazing. It just basically they just copy the whole ideas from the every game possible, and I'm just going to finish right now. But the fun fact is like the majority of people who don't like the Lost Ark or Undecember, or they don't even try it because the looks like too flashy or too ugly or too, I don't know, whatever you want to name it. And then there's obviously the group of like Diablo fans. So they're going to buy this regardless of this actually every game possible. You've seen it before. Well, basically it's a Diablo 4, but that's great. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. Finally, instead of doing some fucking retarded ideas and just do like totally fucked up concept, which was Diablo 3, they finally realize they can just copy paste everything, and that's great. Okay, though. So without no further ado, 10 minutes of a little bit of the introduction of the beta. So one more time, enjoy the game, do whatever fuck you wanted to do, don't listen to anybody, don't watch anybody, don't give a fuck how anybody creating their color characters, and remember to do everything, because as soon as you will do the dungeons, well, basically every objective aside of the main quest, you will get the renown points, and then renown points will access you the gold and skill points. Okay, though. So items for this beautiful girl here. Well, isn't she? Is he? Alrighty. So we're having the helm. Obviously, I'm not going to read through the everything and the names because there's no point to. So we're just going to focus on the stars, which is the unique or legendary affix or legendary modification, whatever you want to call it. You're just going to call it. And we have, you have, or I have, or you will have. You have 20% increased crowd control duration and deal 44% increased damage to unstoppable enemies. So the most important part here is you have 20% plus increased crowd control duration and deal 44% increased damage to unstoppable enemies. So crowd control in this build is going to be Frozen Orb, Frostbolt, which is our basic spam attack. So always when you're going to hit somebody is on the duration of the crowd control, just simply because the chilling is a crowd control. Even if we are going to use the ice armor, so we're going to chill some people around us, so it's going to be crowd control as well. And then we have the Frost Nova. And because I'm talking about the skills and everything, maybe the good idea is actually to just go a little bit somewhere to showcase you the skills in the same time, and hopefully it's not going to, video is not going to lag. But if it's going to lag, sorry about that. Well, I have a shitty PC these days, I guess. No good anymore. Diablo 4, too much stuff. So as you can see, we're running 4 cold skills, the chain lighting and the Hydra. So basically it's the Hydra chain lighting build. Okay, though. So every time I'm going to attack with the Frostbolt, I need to check the names. I'm not familiar with everything, although the Frost Nova, Frozen Orb, Ice Armor, and the Hydra, the Chain Lighting, so everything the same skills from the Diablo 2. But anyway, so Frostbolt, yeah, it's a crowd control. The Frozen Orb is going to press 1. It's the crowd control. The Ice Armor, a barrier of ice forms around you for 6 seconds, absorbing blah blah blah. While Ice Armor 10 of your damage dealt added to its barrier. So this is not really, it's not giving us any crowd control. A barrier of ice forms around you for 6 seconds, absorbing 30% of your base life. Okay, so you're just absorbing the base life. While ice armor is active, 10% of your damage deal is added to its barrier. Okay. While ice armor is active, 10% of your damage deal is added to it. Okay, so that's not going to do the trick, but it's really, in this build, it's really important to use the any kind of armor, and I choose the ice armor because the duration is 6 seconds, so I will explain that in a minute. The Frost Nova, obviously the crowd control for 2.4, right? I was gonna press once to showcase, and then we have the chain lighting, which I don't know, you haven't noticed that, but I just pressed the chain lighting and the Frozen Orb. We just casted the Frozen Orb. due to the fact in our passive skills right now we're using the Frozen Orb enchantment, which whenever you can cast a non-basic skill, you have a 20% chance to launch a Frozen Orb at an enemy nearby. And it's quite funny because even if we are going to cast Frozen Orb, we might trigger the second Frozen Orb. So we might see this. Oh, you see? There will be 2 Frozen Orbs. So basically, when you see 2 at once, that means the one being triggered, because there is no way to play 2 at once. So 2 Frozen Orbs, that's great. Obviously, I will read the skills through one more time, because of the skill tree. But nevertheless, I want to read the items again. So much to say. Sorry about that, but so much to tell. So I think I need to put this as an explanation of the items, but I just explained why an item. I just want to explain the whole skills, why I'm using them. So those 3 skills, obviously, Frozen Orb, Frost Nova, and the Frost Bolt, we're just using them to using the crowd control. And the Ice Armor is just used because we are actually wearing the ring, which giving us 24% more increased damage while you have a barrier active. So that's why we're just using that. And then on the enchantments, we can actually choose the Ice Armor, put over there for the passives, and then upon getting hit, you have 5% chance to apply Ice Armor. So simply put it, if somebody will hit us, we have 5% chance to actually armor is going to pop out, which in other words means you are going to have 24% more deal damage, increased damage while you're having the barrier active without activating. So that's what I wanted to say. So we don't need to activate and spend mana to have extra barrier with this passive. So choose wisely and build character around this. I mean, not like this, but around, you know, any passive skill you're going to use in any character. So I'm just gonna put the Frozen Orb here. So every item I'm just going to tell you is basically what I found. Yes, obviously, but what I'm trying to say, I didn't really try hard to find something else better or whatever, because I just simply don't have a time. So we have the armor with the same modification as the gloves, so that's why on the gloves you can see the whole explanation of the legendary affix is gray, and gray means shit. Well, gray means it's not active. So basically we're having the same one on the armor, and the lucky hit, when you hit a crowd control enemy, there is up to a 44% chance for the crowd control effect to spread to another unaffected enemy. So that's great, because every crowd control we are just going to use. So for example, we're just using the orb, the creatures are crowd control, and basically what it does, one more time, we have 44% chance for that crowd control effect to spread to another. So we just chill in one enemy. That's even better example with the Frostbolt, and then we have 44% chance to the other enemy is going to be chilled as well. Then we're having the pants. Taking direct damage has a 5% chance to reset the cooldown of one of your defensive skills. So we're either going to reset the cooldown of the Frost Nova or of the Ice Armor, but if you really want to be tricky, really want to use this to the max potential, you just supposed to use the one skill from the skill tree and just choose one. So then you have 100% chance to reset that skill, that one skill, right? Because you have 5 to 10% chance to reset the cooldown of one of your defensive skills. So obviously if you have just one defensive skill, you will just reset that all the time. And in that case, you might just choose the teleport then, right? For some other build. And then obviously if you have just one defensive skill, which is the teleport, and using those pans, basically you will have 10% chance to reset that teleport constantly. But nevertheless, the teleport is not really like mandatory at all. It's like the duration, the cooldown is just like really high, the 11 seconds. So as long I mean, if you're not really playing the hardcore, there's no really point to use that at all. So, one more thing, we're having some boosts here. Becoming injured while crowd control grants you unstoppable for 4 seconds. That's great. This effect has a 20 seconds cooldown. That's great, but I didn't find anything else, so I'm using that. And then I have the amulet, which I think is super cool. When hit while not healthy, a magical bubble is summoned around you for 7.5 seconds. While standing in the bubble, players are immune. Can only occur once every 90 seconds, so that's great. And then those 2 skills is basically I just build this character around. So one which I already mentioned several times, but I'm just going to tell you one more time. Deal 24% increased damage while you have a barrier active. So any kind of barrier. Ice armor is actually the longest barrier, so we just choose this one, and then we might just choose to be able to trigger that. 5% chance to trigger that more time than usually, and then all our hydras and chain lightnings or whatever is going to deal 24 more damage. But we'll see about that, what we want to choose. And the other ring is actually chain lightning. The other ring is actually we build this character. I built character around this ring because each time chain lightning bounces off you, gain 4 mana, and the tricky from 4 to 6 mana. And the tricky part about this ring is if you will have one huge monster and enemy, and so you can spam all the time the chain lightning, and then chain lightning 100% is going back and bounce to you. So you have like constantly basically having the 4 mana. Obviously the chain lightning is 33 mana, but still you can spam several more times than usually. And keep that in mind if there's going to be several monsters and you're just going to play the chain lightning or spell or cast. It's going to go through those mobs, and even if they're not dead, the chain lightning most likely is not going to bounce back to you, which means it's not going to give you the mana back. So I think I just explained everything already. With the items, and I can read through the skills, and then we can just do a little bit of the gameplay. So items wise, check. Okay. One more thing. What's those blue gems are giving us? So the blue gems are giving us altogether 15% more critical strike damage to crowd control enemies. So that's the reason behind using the crowd control spells, because then we have 15% more chance to hit. Chance or more damage? Critical strike damage to crowd control. More strike damage to crowd control enemies. Okido. So the skills right now. Super fast and super easy. So Frostball, just simply to have crowd control. Frostball has a 50% chance to explode on shield enemies, hitting surrounding enemies. Chance increased to 100 against frozen enemies. So obviously the modification to the Frostbolt, just simply because we need to put 2 points to go farther, and then 1 to the Frozen Orb, just simply because, like I said, I really like to use 1 skill on the Frozen Orb because it's just basically freezing everything along the way with the icicles and with the blast. And also it's super cool to do the passive. As you can see, I cast 2 at once right now, so this passive is great. So we can choose this one if we want to, and there is no more like I don't really want to put more. There's no point to put more skills in this build because we just crowd controlling to have more damage from the ring, and that's it. Excuse me, I made mistake. Ring to ward the barrier. So the crowd control, we're just using the crowd control because we are using the harm to increase damage to unstoppable enemies, and we have longer duration of the crowd control. Okay, sorry guys, my bad. 1 second. So because this build is not evolving around the cold spells, and we just want to use the Frozen Orb just to apply the chill. So that's why the Frozen Orb is amazing skill. Then the whole build is about the chain lightning, so obviously we're just going to dump max to the chain lightning, then we're having 1 skill in the middle, because there is no point to not putting here, so we need to put that. It's mandatory. Chain lightning gaze plus 3% increase critical strike chance per bounce, and then we can use one of those and just choose when chain lightning critically strikes, it has a 25% chance to form a crackling energy, and the crackling energy is going to be a small energy bubble, so we can pick up this, and then we will have those circles over there above our experience bar, and then every single one of each is going to deal damage, which is crazy good, and we'll see that in a minute. Excuse me. Now jumping to the defensive skills, and we have the glass cannon, this 3 skills, so you deal 80% increased damage but take 9% more damage. So it's crazy good. Ice armor, obviously, because more damage from the ring of 24%. Frost Nova, just simply because we can freeze the enemies for 2.5 seconds. Hydra, because it's super powerful, so 5 skills into the Hydra, and then the 1 to the mandatory skill to have another skills. So while healthy, so which means we having character have more than 80% of their life. Your cast of Hydra gain 1 additional head, and then I put the summon Hydra, which is Hydra also burn enemies for an additional 12% of it base damage deal over 6 seconds. Extra damage. We're just going here, moving along to the mastery skills, and in the mastery skills I choose the static discharge. Lucky hit critical strikes with shock skills have up to 50% chance to form a crackling energy, so periodically damage surrounding enemies when picked up. And when we pick up those energy, the crackling energy, we're getting 4 mana on first skill, 8 and 12 mana. So with that being said, if you don't really have ring to give you the armor, ring to boost you your damage from the armor, you might just remove this ice armor, and you might consider to put this here to have more mana when you pick up the crackling energy. Although ideally it's to keep this how it is and just wait until, you know, we can level up more levels to have more skills. Anyway, so just gonna do some gameplay right now, and hopefully the game isn't going to lag or anything. And there's a dungeon for the wizard. Sorcerer. I'm just going to go here. Just gonna teleport over there. So for those who seen everything what they want to see, thank you very much guys for watching. It's going to be gameplay right now, so obviously I'm testing, recording and streaming. Hopefully it's not going to be a lag, any lags or any dodgy situation, so I'll be able to play. I don't know, I record and stream once and I didn't have any lag. Right now it's super fine. So anyway, so I'm just gonna play and explain it a bit through the gameplay. So we're starting with the Hydra, obviously, because Hydra is so powerful, and yeah. It's like I was brain freeze, sorry, but yeah, it's just powerful, and we don't really need to do anything or care either. We can obviously the aggro back to the Hydra. It's amazing, the damage is so powerful. So we can just get the aggro to the Hydra, obviously. We can just spawn the Hydra on the top of the bosses, which is great. I just forget what the passive skill I'm using right now. So as you can see, we have the crackling energy, and the crackling energy just dealing every one of each ball damage, which is like, this build is super crazy powerful for trash mobs, and also it's super crazy good to utilize the chain lightning against powerful bosses. I want to go there. There's some event here. I'm just going to go there. actually super enjoy to playing this game, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of the gameplay. So just going to play this event and then I will do the dungeon afterwards. So obviously the Nova is good to use when it's like lots of trash mobs and you don't know how to deal with them, so then you can just choose to freeze them for a while. As you can see, I have the armor right now from the passive. It's just this build is bonkers, guys. It's just super powerful and super funny to play. Fancy. Ooh, unique item. Nice. Or legendary, should I say. We call them legendary right now, these days, so... Fuck knows, you know? Like, they're changing the names all the time. Anyway. So if you have the spare mana, obviously you might just consider to use the... frozen orb, but nevertheless there is like no point. Like if you don't need to use at all. So like right now I like full mana. That's what I like to do, like Hydra frozen orb just once to apply the crowd control, and then I'm just spamming basically with the chain lightning all the time. There's some stuff here, so I'm just gonna take this. Actually, it's not good. Did I finish this event here? Slay the remaining enemies. Mastery, destroy the blood rapture. Okay, so I did that, did I? We'll do some dungeon. This dungeon is for me, okay. For my character, okie doke. I might even consider to play a half an hour if it's not going to be, guys, nothing wrong with recording. Because the thing is I'm going to play a couple of hours today as well, and what I want to discover or see, because I don't know, I discovered the one stronghold and I wonder there is another one, because apparently there are like three strongholds, but this one is level 27 plus, or I don't know. I mean, I'm not able to play this one, or maybe it was a bug. Like I've been here and I can't play. There's a place here which is a dungeon and we are not able to do anything about it, unfortunately. Like we are not able to access because the game not allowed us to access that area, but I will check. So Hydra, I mean, it's not really necessary to play that Hydra if it's like 2 or 3 mobs, but right now, definitely. So I can just play behind. Oh, ooh! It's like crazy good to play the chain lightning, because you might not spot that, but when it's like big one enemy, this chain lightning actually will gave us like lots of mana. And there's actually a good time to go to the town, so I'm just going to sell or remove items. Blacksmith. Oh, it's like super powerful damage, isn't it? 437. Yep. Just going to use this one. Armor. We have barrier active. There's 27% chance to ignore incoming direct damage from distant enemies. Nah. It's not really good. I just wonder what can I put here? Armor. Healing cursive. If I will put the red gem, I will have life from it, right? All junk, all items. Okay, just going to remove some stuff. Basic skill gains 30% attack speed. I mean, I don't really wanna damage, destroy those items, because I don't know, I might check something some other way around. Although I don't really have a time to build any other character or any other variant of wizard, I guess. Just keep it for the next weekend. Although, like I said, in the next weekend I'm just going to play Necromancer. Okay, more stuff. Hoodie.
I need time to do that.
I think I'm just going to jump to the rock or ride the barbarian. I think I really want to try the barbarian. Oh. I like we can basically play Hydra on top of any boss and a creature. And just crazy good. The game is super nice to play. If you haven't played already. What I'm trying to say, despite the fact it's just level 25 character, you still wanna just smash the mobs.
I need time to prepare that. I lack the needed mana.
Okay. So we'll pick up some crackling energy. Sometimes you will pick up plenty. Oh. Accidentally press frozen bolt, not this direction. Okay. Oh, so many goodies. Not enough. Animals, those violet globes. Oh.
I need time to prepare them.
I'm out of mana.
Okay. Oh, we good. We good now. Definitely, when it's going to be a full version of Diablo 4, there's definitely points to do the Altar of Lilies. Try to focus on basically every aspect in the game. But right now, because the time to play the game is just a 1 weekend, right? I don't really like that. Like, it's supposed to, honestly, it's supposed to be like 2 weeks of everybody can play and enjoy the game, like the weekend. I mean, the weekend might be good for some people who don't work at all, so then yeah, then we're talking, then you can just play 24 hours or whatever. Oh well. I know I'm going to play the Sorceress when it's going to be Diablo 4 release. But every season I will just change excuse me, and swap to other character. Just simply to enjoy the game to the fullest. I think that's like a reasonable approach for everybody, I guess. Prisoner remains. Oh, okay. Was some spirit. I was wondering, like, what's the point of unchaining the skeleton from that
I'm out of mana.
wooden power or whatever. That's a good example of chain lightning. Is going to bounce a lot of several times to our character back, and we actually receiving 4 points of mana every single time it's going back to us, and then we're having some armor. Ice shard piece 4 times, dealing less damage. Yeah, that's pretty good, but for the build with the ice shards, which actually I used on the beginning quite long, to be honest. I use everything already, and that's how everybody should play the character. Just use everything what you like to use, and those skills which you think like crap or you don't really want to use them as well, because at the end of the day you might consider to use them. If that makes any sense. For the level 25, definitely the Hydra is like viable choice and Frozen Orb, but do I really wanna have the end game build involve around the Hydra? I don't think so. I will probably try to do something different. Oh, we have like crackling energy, so many. Periodically damage nearby enemies when picked up. So we have the chargers. We're just going to kill. And lots of mobs. I like those shrines. Super powerful. Okay. Not this direction. They should do something about like when you pin in the dungeon, you have like some line. That'll be good. Some direction where I need to follow. Easy. So we finish off the dungeon. And we get some aspect to our Codex of Power from the dungeon. And obviously, as I said before, every dungeon have aspects for specific character in the game. So we've done some event, we've done some dungeon. I don't really care about like getting the items with a little bit extra more stats, just simply because I just want to use some unique items. So I'm just gonna do like so. And this one I will keep. I really wish to do Stronghold. That's the only thing which I haven't done. And yesterday was the event over there, somewhere. But I had like level 18, so I wasn't really able to fight. To be honest though, and today they didn't consider to do the event at all. Or it's going to be on some crazy hour, which I have to go to bed, but I'm not really like super into it. Like it's not really important for me to do that anyway. Like normally when we are going to play, it just simply will be on the level 40 or 50 or whatever, and you will do that with ease. Although ultimately you want to do this event as soon as possible because you will have the possibility to craft the socket within the item, although it's not like super a game changer anyway. Because I don't know, you haven't noticed, but we can actually go. So I'll show you guys. Everything what you will have to the items is like critical damage, and on the beginning the critical damage is like nothing, right? The weapon 4% damage over time. Oh, that's actually a good one. Oh, that's the best one ever. Oh, whoa. Plus 5% damage over time for the Hydra. Oh, that's a good one, because the rest, if you will just check the rest. So we have the Crude Emerald. So we have the Emerald is giving us... I'm just trying to put them nicely, I guess, like so. So the Emerald giving us the critical strike damage to vulnerable enemies. Okay, so that's going to be crowd control vulnerable. 50% overpower damage. I don't even know what that means, guys. I need to check that. Then we have the basic skill damage. I'm not really into it, although I guess there's going to be some builds around this. Critical strike damage to crowd control. So this is crowd control. And the vulnerable is crowd control either, isn't it? Or vulnerable is maybe like they just stunned, so frozen totally, like they cannot move. So this is much better because I'm using lots of crowd control. But damage over time is even better so, because I'm applying damage over time from the Hydras all the time. And then we have the ultimate skill damage, which is kind of weak because the ultimate damage skill is always good, and then also it's like huge cooldown on it. And 13 life on kill. Oh, that's a good one. I might consider to use this one or that one, or maybe even this one. Nah, I think that's the best. Life per kill, 13%. Excuse me, 13 plus 13 points. Okie dokie, I think that's it. I think the video duration is more than enough. 50 minutes, so there's no point to record more. Although I'm just going to play another couple of hours, but I think I will just choose the different class just simply to check what's going on. So thank you very much guys for watching. Enjoy the beta weekend. That's it, pretty much that's it. Like I'm super excited, super happy, super tired as well because played quite a bit for last 3 days. Despite the fact I'm just creating one character, but yeah, working and playing it's a hard work. But what I'm trying to say, just one more time, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the open beta, and like without hesitation, it's definitely the title you wanna buy, you wanna spend money on. And with that being said, because probably it's going to be lots of, like, I'm not saying haters, but people who don't really have much money or you're not working or something, obviously lots of kids want to play this, so just do something about it right now and don't moan, don't try to be negative because the game is, I don't know, $70 or $90 or £60 or whatever. Just simply do something about this if you want to play this game, because at the end of the day, we don't need to care about anything else because everything is going to be for free, and the battle passes are just going to give you, they're not going to give you any edge in the game, they're just for the people who want to spend the money for the cosmetics. So pretty much you just need to be able to buy the base of the game. Nevertheless, those people who spend more money for the pre-order be able to play 4 days before the game is going to come out. And some people saying like this is like huge advantage. Yeah, it's a huge advantage, but that doesn't change anything. Like, okay, some people are going to spend money, they will have the better experience because there's not going to be like an offload. It's going to be like an offload of the servers, right? There's not going to be that much people, and probably there won't be that many lags and stuff and queues. So I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing for because they usually, when the Blizzard is going to do like a release of the game, there's everything is just basically doesn't work, right? The servers doesn't work. So hopefully with this, what they've done right now is some people are just going to buy more expensive option for the game, and then with that being said, there is not going to be any difficulties on the release or launch, should I say, of the game. So yeah, with that being said, one more time thank you much guys, one more time thank you much guys for watching. And yeah, I'm tired, so just saying the same stuff. And yeah, hopefully see in the future some live on the Twitch, because right now I just don't have a time much to play or write the records, so I probably will do some video a week or a couple of days after the launch, and we'll just show you my character on the level 100. So see you there, and take care and bye. Bye.